Nope, that's just shortage of goods. That's fine. It's going to be one month where I make a ton of cash and then it balances out again.
Research actualized.
Research done. More engineering. Advanced strikecraft. Yeah. I mean, the housing from city districts would also be good, but let's get the strikecraft so I can get better combat abilities. One thing I'm kind of curious about. Oh! A Deeks has been busy up here. I'd much prefer having a Deeks as a neighbor than Gerald. Oh, that's your capital. Fleet power, pathetic. Economic power, inferior. Technology, inferior. I could probably do a lot of damage to the Gyroids if I chose. But it looks like a Deeks and Kaposhi are pushing back. Fleet power, superior, equivalent, equivalent. Equivalent, equivalent, inferior. So the Deeks really are the most equivalent to my power. But I'm really far under my naval force limit. Colin Secundus now having problems. Okay. I'll need to build a polo thingy for you. Where are these marauders? Seriously. You send all these threatening messages saying, oh, we're coming to kill you, and then you don't. Have they just been defeated?
Research actualized.
Alright, admin cap is done. So now my tech speed's going to go up. So my admin cap is 110, my total empire size is 171. I've still got a 27% tech cost penalty. But that has gone down from like 32. There's the hydroponics. Provides an additional 2 farmers. Which I would quite like to get on Ross. If I could, like, have you all about food production, that would make me quite happy. Though you do have 2 alloy factories now. That's fine. I feel like Jessica Prime needs to get some industries going. Also, the number of minerals I am currently in surplus is plummeting. Terraforming would be nice. It would be nice, but I can't afford it. Let's upgrade some more ships. Right, how is the piracy situation looking? It's going up and up and up. Current piracy minus 40. That's per province and just these 3. What's the maximum? 100. And you're up to 13, so you should be purging it. Hey! Attention to Amax! Our warriors grow bored and catch much trouble. Much fighting with each other. Many dead, but we have solution. We send our craziest warriors to fight Amax in exchange for credits. If you want your best mercenaries in Galaxy, hurry now before it's too late. Oh. Why are you saying I can afford that? I can't. That's a bug. It doesn't have the price check. Even Pabellan infants can defeat bestest Dwamak warriors. It is known. But these are not infants. These hardened Pabellan mercenaries, and they're not only dangerous, but they be deranged. They're willing to fight for Dwamaks like you, against other Dwamaks, or even Pabellan if you pay. Here, current list of crazy Pabellan fleets.
Research actualized.
Oh, I bet you... Was it? Yeah, you hired the mercenaries, didn't you? You sod. More Why are they only just appearing? Ah!
Upscaling complete.
Alright, so my fleet continues to grow. Kind of curious to see how 2.4k does against Marauders.
Upscaling complete.
We'll see, I guess. Oh, housing's a problem, like, everywhere. Okay. I am using a lot more minerals because I'm generating a lot more consumer goods and stuff. And that trend needs to continue. Yeah, see, your happiness is not amazing. Mike Prime could kind of do with some hollow theatres, I think. You're fine. Ross Prime can do with some more civilian industries. Still haven't seen the bad guys.
Upscaling complete.
Mystic Order. Nope, flying the other way. Raiding fleet destroyed. The Emissary fleet that vowed to raid our space stations has been destroyed as a result of the fleet action of the caravan system. No survivors have been reported, found amongst the debris. Well, that's a bit of a downer. Started to build up my fleets with no reason.
Research actualized.
New economy definitely seems to have a greater learning curve to manage, or just be harder to manage in general. I don't think it's necessarily harder, it's just more choices. And because I've focused my economy so heavily on trade, like other things have suffered. I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't necessarily need to be balanced, I could just focus on one or two things, and unfortunately, you can't. Let's get allowance. Market. I can now reduce the number of consumer goods I'm importing. Let's go to 3. The less consumer goods I'm importing, the less of other things I need to do too. Oh, I see. Sometimes you've been failing to sell minerals. I guess because there's just not the demand. Yeah, the price is so low. And there we go, making profit. Well, in that case, my buying up so many consumer goods is also going to be reducing the price, so I'm going to be making more and more money now. I am going to start reducing the number of minerals I'm doing, and then slowly building in a couple more consumer goods buildings. Part of the issue, I just realized this, is I have a huge deficit in terms of... Sorry, I have a huge vacancy of jobs. Most of those jobs are probably going to be researchers, and researchers use more consumer goods. So I've been having to buy in more and more consumer goods, not so much because my population is growing, although that does factor, but because I've got more like advanced consumers. Right, another admin capacity. I think it's Starbase capacity time. And now my admin cap is 130. My empire size is 171. I have now got 18% tech cost penalty. It's feeling a lot better. And you are out of housing. Keldalunt has grown too much. I approve. Pirates in the Ross system. Yeah, that's a problem. Flipping hell. Current priority 28? Where are the dudes that are protecting... Oh, it's you, isn't it? Yeah. So what seems to be happening is because some of the fleets are going through 4 systems rather than just 2, and their suppression is just not high enough to reduce the piracy to 0 every time they pass through. So I'm definitely having to invest more and more ships into just pirate suppression. And I think I'm just going to be a little more radical about how I've been dealing with it. Current piracy 16. So yeah, the fleet passing through here is just not big enough to deal with that. So let's also improve you. Let's just get these up to level 10-ish. I have more alloys. I can now afford to have more ships. That's 14 corvettes versus 12 pirates. And actually, the size of this fleet's enough that they might be able to do some damage here. Plus my big fleet's on their way in. Though they're still 1, 2, 3 systems away. Mine ran. Not surprised. They're like mega old. I've been using the really, really old corvettes to do the patrols because 1, they're really cheap, and 2, you don't actually need to have very good fighters to deal with this. Can I show the admin cap again? Yep. So I'm currently at 171 of my cap of 130, and I'm suffering 18% tech penalty as a result. The big usage for admin cap are districts and systems. And the districts is basically a translation of having large planets. So I don't have very many of them, but they are pretty big. Go, 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 go. Might actually save the system. You will. That didn't last long. Right, head home, celebrate. Well done. And then TP1, I need you back. I think it's just these 2 that you need to patrol. So if you head back to, whoops, Nostra. Oh, once you've repaired, yeah. Quite frankly, you could probably do with going up to 20. Enduroid destroyers just insulted me. That's nice, but you can't actually get to me anymore thanks to Adix. You've only got the Lundin system. Still no change in borders over there. So this seems to be just a completely defensive war while Adix just goes ham on these guys up here. And I doubt that I'm ever going to expand into there. I just don't have the Empire capacity. And you seem to get so little of it that that's not going to change. You can upgrade. We also need, I think, a planetary... sorry, a city district here. Ooh, technology. Advanced strike craft. Here we go. Ooh, cruisers. Cruiser hit points. I like that. Let's do that. How expensive are my leaders with the penalty? They're not terrible, to be quite honest. They're costing me 49 energy at the moment. The big expense is the monthly trades. That's where a lot of the money was going. But now that I'm actually reducing my reliance on consumer goods, I think the problem was I was over-relying on them. I now have a better balance. I can reduce the number of consumer goods I'm importing, which is also translating to the price falling quickly. Remember, that was above 4. So clearly you can't be completely reliant on trade. Some reliance on trade is fine. And that trade I can start to invest in branches. And I have a feeling that branches, yeah, are going to be a lot more valuable now. As these guys also build up their trade. So corporations really are a mid to late game faction. They're not amazing early on. In fact, I'd say they're quite a lot weaker than the other factions earlier. Well, very early on they're strong because of the extra empire cap. Then early mid game they're kind of terrible, and then I guess they kind of build up again in the late. So does Mike generate pirates? No, just these 2. I wonder where that is. I guess trade directly with other empires more effective.
Upscaling
There's nothing. You
complete.
can't trade with other empires. The only thing you can do is... Oh, you mean for goods? That's possible, but I don't know if it could be as stable as the market is. If you mean trade value trade, you can't. The only way of getting trade value from trading with other nations, trading with other factions, is corporate branches. And they are stupidly expensive. Colin Prime has got unemployment. Oh, it really does. Interesting. Well then, Colin Prime, I would say that you are perfectly positioned to get me some more alloy factories. I think the consumer ones are relatively well positioned at the moment. So we are making quite a lot of money now.
Upscaling complete.
Which we can then reinvest into getting more branches. Tradition available. Leader level cap increased by 1 and also plus 25% more experience gain. Sounds good to me. Jessica needs housing. Do I want to build some more districts for you? No, I think that it's going to be far more efficient to bring in food supplies from other locations, like Ross. And now that I can build hydroponics, I think I might do that. I might switch these out for hydroponics instead. And really concentrate all of the food production on Ross Prime, because Ross Prime is very efficient at doing that. And then we'll just get the civilian industries and the alloy factories elsewhere. Like, I feel like Nathaniel's going to be good for that. And in fact, Nathaniel can build a thing now. You could actually get gene clinics, which would increase your population growth. That sounds really effective, actually. Let's do that. Zach Prime and Colin Secundus. Both of you need to get to 15 population, which you're not far off, though you badly need housing. I think that's your main problem. Yeah, so I'm going to stop selling all my minerals. And I think I'm going to buy in just a tiny bit more consumer goods. And then with that I should be able to get my planets and things upgraded again, because we did have a bit of a blip where we weren't upgrading things.
Upscaling complete.
I think the lack of housing was really affecting these two. Effects from overcrowding, stability -12. Yeah, okay, so overcrowding has a way bigger effect on stability than how happiness does. Oh. Quipilucci Interplanetary Union made peace with destroyers. Status quo. So Adix gained all of this. So Adix is now the one with adjacency, not me. And they also have control of all the gateways and the wormholes, so enjoy that. In the meantime, I really want to join your federation, but I can't. Border friction's going up because you have borders on both sides. What about you? Oh, right, it's these guys that are in the Federation. I think I need to try and get rid of my pacifism. Now, looking at my factions, by far and away the most powerful is the Xenophile, so I don't think I'm actually going to lose that much by dropping pacifism. There's a lot more people in my nation right now who are egalitarian than pacifist. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch. You can do that, right? Thought you could. Oh, I remember how. It's in... Species? No. Oh, I remember it's in here, isn't it? Yeah, it's in here. So, managing this faction, we want to embrace it. Support needs to be more than 20%. It's actually really close. We're going to promote egalitarianism. Scum and villainy on Ross Prime. Crime continues to be a problem on Ross Prime, and an extensive criminal underground has now taken root on the planet. Some areas have descended into lawlessness and been taken over completely by criminal organizations. That's impossible. I'm a corporation. Crime doesn't exist in a corporation. Well, I guess we're going to need enforcers here. There's nothing else for you to do.
Complete.
And alloy-wise, we're doing well. So these guys that I ordered more ships for should really get some of those ships going.
Upscaling complete.
And I'm out of consumer goods again. Damn it! I'm trying to rely less heavily on the market, not more.
Upscaling complete.
Also, we have a lot of influence. Production targets is mineral, food, happiness. Immigration and pop growth? Sure. Healthcare could also be a good one. Pop goods, consumer usage, and healthcare. I have a feeling that's actually going to save us money in the long term. Food production's gone down, but Ross Prime is going to switch out its other alloy factory for a hydroponic. So then I need to start building alloy factories elsewhere. Like here.
Complete.
Except you need amenities. Which could actually technically be created by commercial zones. How much did we work out commercial zones create amenities? I mean, the other way would be doctors' offices. Who's producing the most amenities? The merchants are. Right, the merchants. I never did check when I got access to those, if it was based on total population or planetary population. I'm trying to think what buildings provide merchants. I think it's just this. No, that's managers. Well, it can't be population because I have 300. That would be 7 merchants if it was population based. Is it sector population? Oh, these provide... yeah, 1, 2... Okay, so... yeah, it's based on planets. So what I'm talking about here is when you complete prosperity, adopting all prosperity traditions gives our planet 1 merchant job per 50 pops. And that is per 50 pops on that planet, which is actually quite difficult to achieve. Although Jessica's going to do it soon. Ross is going to do it soon. And Keldalon's got one already. That's not an amazing bonus. I mean, merchants are good, but to complete an entire tradition to get 1 job? What's the policy set? Is it to credits and consumer goods? No, it's just to credits. I had it set to consumer goods, and buying consumer goods was actually cheaper than converting them, but I have a feeling that at some point that switched over the balance, and then it was actually going to be cheaper to convert them. But what I'm doing now is I'm just building some consumer goods factories, because I have a lot of minerals. Do you have crime? You have no crime. Neither do you. Neither do you. There's only Ross for some reason. In fact, Ross's crime's gone right down too. Oh! Right, it's because your boss is corrupt. Precinct houses is probably going to be overkill.